Have you ever seen your cat freeze in a doorway, eyes wide, staring into empty space? It might look like they are afraid, but in reality, it is something far more impressive. Your cat is experiencing the world in a way that we humans simply cannot. Today, I want to show you exactly how a lost cat finds its way home, because the answer is much stranger and far more comforting than you might imagine. Let me start with a true story. In 2012, a family in Florida took their cat, Holly, on a trip to Daytona Beach, about 200 miles from home. One night, the sound of fireworks frightened her. She bolted from their motorhome and disappeared. Her family searched for days and handed out flyers, but eventually, they had to drive home without her. 2 months later, a woman living less than a mile from Holly's home spotted a thin, exhausted cat in her own yard. When she left, Holly had been a healthy cat. Now, she was little more than skin and bones, and the pads of her paws were scraped raw and bleeding from all the walking. A veterinarian scanned her and found an identification microchip. It was Holly. Somehow, she had traveled 200 miles across unfamiliar territory she had never seen before, only to make her way back to her own neighborhood. The scientists who studied this case admitted that they could not fully explain the phenomenon. So, let me walk through what we do know with you, one piece at a time. The first tool cats use is their olfactory system, their nose, and the upper palate. In fact, their nose works like a radar that maps their surroundings. Cats have up to 200 million olfactory receptors, while we humans have only about 5 million. So when they step outside, cats are constantly sniffing, not simply smelling the air, but actually reading odor molecules in their surroundings. From the soil, grass, a neighbor's fence, to a specific doorway, everything carries its own unique scent signature. A cat's nose and scent-detecting organs work like a system that scans an invisible space. Scientists call this an olfactory map. Simply put, a map created from scents. Try to picture it this way. You can walk around your own home in the dark and know exactly where you are because of your memory. Cats do something similar outdoors, but they use their sense of smell. In fact, some cats may be able to recognize familiar scents from more than a mile away, about 1.6 kilometers. As they travel, cats also leave behind their own scent by rubbing their cheeks and paws against corners of walls or objects, a behavior known as bunting. These scent marks act like breadcrumbs, helping them find their way home. And here is one small helpful tip for you. If your cat ever gets lost, place their litter box, bed, or an unwashed blanket of theirs right outside your front door. That familiar scent may guide them home from a surprisingly long distance. Besides their nose, cats also have a special sensory organ called the Jacobson's organ, vomeronasal organ, located in the roof of the mouth. When they detect an unfamiliar scent, they often slightly open their mouths, a behavior known as the flamen response, to draw scent molecules into this organ. It works like an upgraded data processing system that helps analyze detailed information that the ordinary nose alone cannot fully decode. The second tool is a hidden internal compass buried deep within the brain. Scent only works at close range, and wind or rain can erase scent trails, so there must certainly be a more stable mechanism working alongside it. Remember Holly? The researchers studying her noticed that she seemed to travel along the coastline for the entire journey, keeping the ocean on one side, as if she were drawing a straight line home. Here is the clue that may explain why. In 1954, 2 German researchers used a total of 42 cats to test their ability to orient themselves and find their way home. They placed each cat inside a sealed box to make sure they could not see the route at all. Then they transported them along long, winding, complicated routes to an unfamiliar location. When they arrived, the cats were released into the center of a large circular maze with 6 exits, each one facing a different direction. Instead of wandering around in confusion, most of the cats immediately chose an exit, within a radius of 5 kilometers, 3.1 miles from their homes. As many as 60% of the cats correctly chose the exit pointing directly toward their homes, a rate much higher than random chance. There is even an older case from 1922. in which a mother cat found her way home 7 separate times from distances of up to 4 miles, each time heading in the correct direction almost immediately. So, how do they do it? Many animals carry tiny particles of iron called magnetite, and these can respond to the Earth's magnetic field like a compass needle. And when researchers later created magnetic fields around test animals, that clear sense of direction disappeared, which was a strong sign that magnetism was part of the answer. Now, I want to be honest with you. In cats, this is still a strong theory, not a proven fact, and birds have been studied much more extensively. But the same pattern continues to appear, and it fits with what so many cat owners have sensed at home. It is not luck. It is not magic. Your cat may literally be able to sense the direction home. If your cat has ever surprised you like this, take a moment to subscribe to the channel. This channel was created to help you better understand the cat you love. The third tool is the sun, combined with your cat's biological clock. Cats have an incredibly precise internal clock. That is why they know immediately when dinner is a few minutes late. On its own, this clock does not seem to help with finding their way home. But when combined with the position of the sun in the sky, it becomes a powerful tool. Think of it this way. In the morning, the sun is low in the eastern sky. By late afternoon, it has moved all the way toward the west. So, if a cat's body can sense the passage of time, the position of the sun can quietly tell them which direction they are facing. Ancient sailors once crossed entire oceans using this very method. This navigational ability, known as a sun compass, has been clearly demonstrated in birds, sea turtles, and butterflies. In cats, this has not been firmly established, but it is very possible that it also contributes to the way they navigate. Now, when you combine all 3 factors, smell, magnetism, and the sun, you can understand how such a small creature can travel in a straight line through places it has never set foot in before. The fourth part is something that almost no one talks about. This is the truth that those miraculous stories often leave out. Most cats are not long-distance travelers like Holly. In fact, when an indoor cat accidentally gets outside, they usually do not bravely try to find their way home right away. Time equals 0.5 seconds / greater than. They will freeze in place, stay completely silent, and hide close to where they escaped. Fear causes them to lose their sense of direction. Behavior experts call this displacement. In a study of more than 1,200 lost cats, 3 out of 4 were found within about 500 meters of where they escaped. Holly became famous precisely because she was an extremely rare case. And this is what most people get wrong, and also why I want you to keep following this story. You often imagine a lost cat wandering somewhere far away, trying to find its way home, when in reality, there is a very good chance they are hiding in fear, just a few houses away. So, if your cat ever gets outside, search around your home first. Check under porches, inside sheds, and deep in bushes, instead of searching in the next town over. Ask your neighbors to check their garages and sheds too, because a frightened cat may slip into places that were left open and become trapped inside. Put some of their food and litter box outside at night, the time when a frightened cat is more likely to feel safe enough to move around. If you move to a new home, keep your cat indoors for 2 to 3 weeks so they can gradually become familiar with the new area. And please, microchip your cat. Holly may have made it home thanks to many factors, but the reason she was actually reunited with her family was that microchip. If your cat runs away, it does not mean they are weak or that they have stopped loving their home. They are simply scared and need you to come looking for them nearby. The fifth thing is this. Even if your cat never needs to use any of these abilities, that entire system of instincts is still there inside them. Look at your cat right now. The same creature who acts offended when you move their food bowl, or the one who occasionally gets stuck behind the sofa, possesses an extraordinary sense of smell that can read and create a map of sense to remember the terrain and navigate through space. a compass that can orient itself using the Earth's magnetic field, and a biological clock that operates according to the rhythm of the sun. And most house cats will live their entire lives without ever needing to use these abilities. Not because they are broken or defective, but simply because they have no need to use them. Because, after all, their entire world is contained within the warm space between the window and your lap. Your cat has a map that can guide them as far as 200 miles, and yet they fold that map away and never use it because they have found the one place they want to belong, right beside you. So tell me in the comments, how far has your cat ever traveled to find their way back home to you? Or how long did it take for them to trust you enough to finally feel relaxed around you? I will read every one of your stories, because when you think about it, this is the real answer. A cat may be able to find its way across unfamiliar lands it has never set foot in before, but the place they truly long to return to is home. And for your cat, home is you.